Actually, this piece here is based on a true story. Normally when I write from my own life experiences. But this time, it was somebody else's life and what they experienced that inspired me to write this piece. Because nobody, especially an 11-year-old child, should have to go through life like this. So this goes out to you. See, Lil Johnny, he wanted to be invisible, so that way his bully wouldn't see him. And the awful names kids used to call other kids, see, he wouldn't be him. He just wanted to be himself, be to himself. Cause see, the pain that came from kids calling other names, he wanted to say one day this is a feeling that he never felt, but he felt left out at times. And if he went to lunch and saw his bully, he'd just step out of line, cause he knew he'd get beat up for everything he had on his plate. So what he'd do is starve or wait, let his bully eat before he ate, and sometimes that made Lil Johnny late for his next period. Like a female, he was sick to his stomach like she had been late for her next period. It was that serious. So he'd just rather hang around the house, wondering how it would be to be invisible. Take a nap and try to sleep his little life away. Close his eyes tight enough to imagine a world where bullies no longer existed. But his mother persisted. With him get up, go to school, and go to class. Do whatever he had to do to pass, hoping that this feeling too would soon pass. Cause see, he didn't know how much longer he would last. His little body had grown tired of getting beat up just for laughs. And it wasn't funny, he no longer carried money cause he got tired of getting beat up for his cash. The hell with his swag. Didn't want to get a bully another story to go brag. He got called everything from broke to bum, from coward to chump, from freak to fag. And see, Lil Johnny didn't like that. How do you think it feels to get beat up on a daily basis and don't have it in you to strike back? Get beat up at 11 years old and don't have the strength in you to fight back. Go home to a mother that probably didn't understand, have to still stand and be a man, go back to school the next day and bounce right back and pretend nothing ever happened. Get bullied over and over again and see so-called friends in the back laughing at his expense. It was like the road he traveled was like quicksand, and the hurdles in his life were like barbed wire fence. So it made it that hard for him to run and jump, and the thought of getting caught on the barbed wire had him so afraid. So in this world full of hurt and pain, Lil Johnny stayed, just wishing he would have stayed at home today, so he could hang around the house, wondering how it would be to be invisible, take a nap, and try to sleep his little life away. Close his eyes tight enough to imagine a world where bullies no longer existed. So he insisted to make this day a day like no other. So the alarm clock he woke up to was his mother's screams, and he thought it was just another dream. So he jumped up, ran downstairs, and he stared at the kitchen clock. But this time, the big hand didn't tick and the little hand didn't talk. So little man ran down to his usual bus stop where the bus usually stops, but the bus never stopped. So he stood there motionless as he watched cars fly by and time flew by, whether he was moving or not. So once he got to the school, the bullies didn't bully him, and the kids that used to call him names didn't call him names. And when he got to class, the teacher called his name and he still didn't speak. He sat at the back of the class and let the new kid fill his seat. And for the first time in a long time, Lil Johnny could finally feel at peace. But still a piece of him was missing. It was like he didn't try to get away from it. He tried routes, cried inside, and even cried out, but nobody would listen. And for so many to have life, so many have died. But for Johnny to have life, before that day even started, he took his own life, hung himself, and committed suicide. So now, he can really hang around the house. He no longer had to wonder how it would be to be invisible. He took a nap and slept his little life away. He closed his eyes tight enough to imagine a world where bullies no longer existed. And statistics say that bullying is the 1 out of 10 1 out of every 10 students that drop out. But see, Lil Johnny was going for honor roll. He didn't want to be the one to cop out. But this life that he was living was getting him too hard to work for, so Lil Johnny just clocked out. But he wrote a letter, and it said in big bold print, "Who are you going to bully now? P.S. But I forgive you." My heart and my prayers go out to the whole Walker family. This was a dedication piece to Carl Joseph Walker Hoover. Rest in peace.